I'm just going to say that this is comparable to adult activities. Guys, welcome to a very special episode. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jacob.
And today we are drinking Pliny the Elder. That's right, Pliny the Elder. Guys, this is an 8% double IPA from Russian River Brewing Company. If you don't already know about Pliny the Elder, stop watching this and go watch something else.
Go read a book.
Yeah, like, seriously, what's wrong with you? That being said, don't feel too bad because I've never had this beer before.
Wait, really?
Ever. Yeah, I've never had Pliny the Elder before.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Huge craft beer fan, never had Pliny. I know. I guess you didn't know that.
I didn't.
Yeah.
How did that not come up? We talked about this right before the episode.
Never had Pliny, period. Ever.
Okay.
Ever. We have a good craft beer friend in the Orange County Craft Brewers Guild, Mary Jane. Thank you so much for sharing this beer with us. I'm going to put your Instagram down below. Russian River, man. I can't tell you how much hype I've heard around this beer. I'm a little scared, but at the same time, I'm super excited. So I know I can't wait. Jacob, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's have some beer. Well guys, the beer is poured and I just gotta say this is a beautiful clear color. I mean, even with condensation you can see right through it. But it's pretty. The head is just the fluffiest of white. Tiny bubbles.
Soft, fluffy clouds.
This is a pretty beer.
It's best to note that Mary Jane didn't just go to Russian River and grab us Pliny. She grabbed us the freshest Pliny that I think I've ever had. This was bottled 11 days ago from our opening it. I mean, that's definitely the freshest Pliny I've ever had. Maybe there's probably some of you who've had fresher. I've never been to Russian River myself, so, I can't really get it from the source, but, I mean, this was literally taken from the tap room to our homes. So,
and I feel spoiled as hell because this is my first time trying it and it's 11 days old, so...
Oh my god, yes.
With that being said, let's go ahead and dig in. So
absolutely.
Smell it. Yeah, let me swirl that up a little bit. Sweet malts. Just the right amount of hop aroma coming out of that, a little citrus, a little sweet.
It's actually also worth noting, it's getting clearer now that the chill haze is starting to dissipate as it warms up a little bit.
God, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, this is essentially the king of clear IPAs. And it's been that way for quite a while. Part of that is hype, for sure, but part of it is, I mean, you'll see, Jeff.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and try it right now and find out.
Cheers. That's a winner.
I'm just going to say that this is comparable to adult activities. This is comparable to adult activities.
Alright, that's a tagline and a half. So this is interesting. I'm actually getting a lot of like sweet, crackery honey notes from this.
Yeah.
I've had this a couple times before. but I don't think I've really gotten so much honey from it. Maybe that's because it's so fresh. It's definitely been sweet and crackery and piney, but I don't think I've ever distinctly thought honey when I've had this beer. But right now, that's what I'm thinking.
It really is kind of like a honey graham cracker. The malts really come through on this. It's just fantastic. It's sweet on the tongue. You get nice citrus notes on the actual body itself. It's like licking a fresh Valencia orange. I don't know how to explain it to you any other way. It's not a super strong citrus presence, but it's there enough, and it just goes so well with the malt character of this. And then that finish, beautiful, piney finish. It's not overly piney, which, you know, a lot of West Coast style IPAs, for me, it's like that's the note that they want to hit on that finish, and sometimes, you know, it's like, damn, that's a lot of pine. Okay, that's a really West Coasty beer. This is keeping it kind of subtle, but at the same time, you know exactly what it is, and it's pretty fucking magical. I don't know how else to say it. You know, I waited many, many years to try this beer. I hear people talk about it all the time. And I don't know if you guys have ever been in a group of friends where they're talking about a TV show or something that happened at school or whatever it may be, and you don't watch that show or you don't know those people, and you just kind of are standing there laughing, and it's like, I have no idea what they're talking about. I'm just gonna keep laughing and smiling with them, and hopefully nobody notices that.
Khaleesi, yeah.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Yeah, that Jon Snow, boy, let me tell you, what a kooky character. That's what Pliny's been for me for so long. I hear nothing but good stuff about it, and I've never been able to just step into a conversation and share my 2 cents, and now I can say I can. And it's definitely positive. This, dare I say it, is probably the best West Coast IPA I've ever had.
Woo!
Yeah. I mean, Jacob and I were talking before we cracked this open, before we started the episode,
yeah.
And the one thing I was pointing out was my fear of the hype. Because hype doesn't necessarily always get me excited, it actually kind of concerns me a bit. Because when the hype is really high, the expectations are very high. And so my concern with this beer is I was going to drink it and just go, yeah, that's a solid West Coast IPA. But no, this is not just a solid West Coast IPA. This is a, like, mind-blowing beer, period. Like, let's not even talk about West Coast style IPAs. Let's just talk about beer in general. This is something that every beer drinker should be trying. I mean, it's just, now I know why it's like a staple in the craft beer community. It's incredible. So with that being said, now that we're done talking about how mind-blowing it is, let's go ahead and get into the scoring, shall we? When it comes to aroma, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I'm curious about you.
Okay.
Let's start.
So when it comes to aroma, I'm actually going to give it like an 8. I didn't get a ton off the nose. I was still kind of in that worried mode. You definitely get some sweet malt characteristics in it, a little bit of citrus. I could tell that this was going to be a good beer, and I was definitely excited to drink it. I just didn't quite know what was going to happen when I drank it. I was still kind of in that limbo of, uh-oh,
Yeah.
Is this going to be really good, or is this just going to be like, it's all right? I was excited to drink it, obviously. I've waited forever to drink this. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a mind-blowing aroma, but regardless, it didn't need to be. The name itself already has me excited to drink it, so who cares? I give it an 8, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to give it an 8. How about you, Jacob?
You know, I have to agree. I've had this a couple of times, and I feel like every time I have Pliny, it's pretty infrequent, and like each time I have it has been a while since the last time, so my palate has changed drastically. This is probably the soonest I've had it after my last Pliny tasting. And I will say, this aroma that I'm getting right now is less than previous experiences. So I would also actually give it an 8. I feel like it could be a lot more, and it has been a lot more in my past experiences. So I'm going to give it an 8. Yeah.
Cool. Well, at least I'm not missing on that one.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? But anyways. Okay, so now where it really counts, where it comes down to flavor. I'm going to go ahead and start. This is obviously a 10 for me. As I said, I'm pretty confident in saying the best West Coast IPA I've ever had. And it definitely has got to be close to one of the best IPAs in general I've ever had. That's talking hazy too, so all you haze bros, hate all you want. This blows basically all those out of the water. It's incredible. It's incredible. It lives up to the hype, which I feel like with anything, when the hype is so high, it just sets it up for disappointment. Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Fighting words.
Hey, I love The Last Jedi, but I know a lot of Star Wars fans that absolutely hated it, and I think more than anything, it's just the hype. If we all just shut up and not talk about stuff, then you don't have the high expectations, and you're not let up for disappointment. But at the end of the day, I had a high expectation of this beer, and it still blew my freaking mind. It's incredible. It's rich, it's delicious. I love that you picked up on that like honey cracker flavor that you didn't have before, because I got the same thing out of it. Just really sweet malts, beautiful citrus tones, but it's not like just biting into an orange, it's like an orange accent. So it just, I don't know, it just melded so perfectly with the malts, and then you get that nice piney finish. It's not an overpowering pine to where your palate's just blasted. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm kind of sad that they don't make this in bigger bottles, because I could definitely pour another 3 or 4 of these. It's incredible. So yeah, I gotta give it a 10. Jacob, how about you?
So this is really interesting. The one thing that I have noticed as I try this beer again and again is that what makes it good is that balance of malt and hops. It's not something, as hoppy as it is, the hops don't overpower the base beer. You can taste the malts. Mm-hmm. And just the two of them combined are really good. And it's hard to tell, like to express that feeling of the base malt plus the hops are what makes this beer. It's not just the hops. Even though this is a double IPA that people kind of build up to be like the IPA, the base malts have a lot to do with that. And that's kind of a weird thing, considering West Coast IPA for a lot of it has been like nothing but two-row, which is just, really light and just not something you're going to taste much of to let the hops shine.
It's just there to get the ABV up, basically.
Yeah, and this is something to where I feel like I'm tasting the malts plus a bunch of hops. And it's something that's like, that's why you need to try Pliny, because that kind of shows you a nice balance of what IPA can be. And not just IPA, but double IPA. After, especially me, saying how much, double IPAs, I don't know, if they're too big for a lot of me, as me griping and just nitpicking and stuff, right? And then you have Pliny the Elder, and I'm like, I'm totally fine with this double IPA. It's like, that just goes to show you need to try this beer. It's really good. That being said, I am tipsy, if you couldn't tell.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. I think we probably both are. But we also have more Pliny, so we're going to try this again. And we're going to try it, most likely, up against some other double IPAs that we also enjoy. So look forward to that coming soon. I'm going to find out some of Jeff's other favorite double IPAs, and we're going to go
head to head, baby.
We're going to go head to head.
Let's lay the smack down.
Because Pliny is worth trying again, and it's worth trying against some new contemporaries, because it's definitely good to note this has been around for the better part of a decade, if not more. And it's the same recipe. They don't really tweak Pliny. This is the same beer that they keep making, and people keep buying it because it's that good. So I think it deserves to kind of go up against some new guys that maybe have only been around for like 5 years or less, So yeah,
you didn't even give it a score.
I didn't even give it a score. With that, I guess I'll have to give it a 10.
There you go. I was waiting for it the whole time, guys. I was
Sorry
waiting for it
about
the whole
that, guys.
time.
Sorry,
I don't know about you, but yeah. All right, cool. I feel good about that.
Yeah.
Well, the question of would we ever buy it again, guys, let me tell you, I have gone up to Northern California a couple times in the last year. There are certain reasons why I definitely want to go up there more often. The craft beer scene is definitely one of them, and this is just another reason why. I still really want to do a Pliny the Younger release, and when that happens, you can bet your ass I'm going to buy as much of this shit as I can get away with. So yeah, definitely will buy it again. If I even got so lucky as to have walked into a bar or a tap house or a bottle shop and they happen to have some Pliny there, I feel like I would just be a terrible human being if I didn't rescue them and take them home with me and keep them safe and warm or cold and drink them. This beer deserves to be drank. And I would say that if you're an IPA lover, you're trying to get a friend into IPAs, and you have connects where you can get your hands on this beer, like, do yourself the favor and introduce them to a solid IPA like this one. I definitely think you'll make a larger impact than if you just kind of like, grab whatever. Regardless, this is incredible. Yes, I would buy it again, and I will make the effort to even get to Russian River to buy it again. Jacob?
Yeah, I have to agree. I've had this beer several times now, and I feel like looking at how often I've had it, it's not been enough. I should have this beer a lot more often, and it's definitely worth seeking out. Even though there's been so much kind of like hazy IPAs eclipsing the hype of Pliny, this is still worth seeking out. Even in 2018, where people want the newest monkish or treehouse kind of beer, this is still relevant. This shows that it's got the chops to last. And yeah, seek this out. Buy it if you find it. Buy more than one. It's really good beer. And even though the bitterness is strong and it is building, it still makes you want to keep drinking it.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I would be perfectly fine with just drinking this all night, all the time. I'm never going to sit there and finish a Pliny bottle and go, man, I wish this didn't get my palate feeling this way. I really wanted to try something else. No. If I went to a party and somebody had a cooler full of Pliny...
Oh my god.
I mean, if you want to be totally honest, yes, I would love to drink Pliny all night, but actually what I'd probably do is take the cooler, run to my truck, and drive away as fast as possible. I'm sorry, I'll lose a friend over this. I'm just being real. I mean, that's what I would do, so...
yeah. Sounds great.
Well, there you go, guys. That is our review of Pliny the Elder from Russian River Brewing Company. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments below if you've tried this beer. If you had, what are your thoughts? Is this like an OG style beer that's lost its flair? Does it still hold strong today? If you haven't tried it, go try it and then tell us what you think. And if you can, please subscribe to the channel. We enjoy the support. It helps us make more cool episodes like this one. And until next time, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you again on Let's Have Some Beer. Cheers.